Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lily and I am a third-year naturopathic medical student. I just finished up NPLEX last quarter and I'll be starting clinic next quarter in about a week. But here I just wanted to give you some tips and advice and a little bit about my experience with studying for NPLEX I. So for me, when I was preparing to study for NPLEX I, I realized that as I went on, so I heard about some resources and I was like, okay, those seem pretty good. I'm gonna try some of these, some of this, some of that. And then as I studied, as the weeks went by, I kept hearing about other resources and I was like, I didn't even know those existed. Like, what if those are better? Should I have tried that? Should I start now? Is it too late to start? So basically, as I collected more information about all of these resources, I made a list. I did not end up using all of them, and I do not suggest using all of them because there's just not really time. But I do have a concise list for all of y'all to help you out. And then you can choose what you like, what resonates with you, and I'll point out what I did. Disclaimer, I am a representative, a student representative for PassNPLEX. I don't really get any money or anything for like you signing up for PassNPLEX, but I just wanted to point that out because that was one of the most prominent resources that I knew about because I was a representative for them. So let's get started with the resource list. First off is the USMLE Step 1 First Aid book. That's really good. It's geared for conventional medical students in like MD school. So it's a bit different, but you can go through that and it has a lot of good information about all of the subjects. It's organized by system, so that's really helpful, and it's got extra information that I know wasn't really covered in some of my classes, but just be aware some things like psych and pharmacology are not in NPLEX I, so you can just like ignore those sections when you're studying for NPLEX I. Also, I would like to point out when you sign up for NPLEX I, so first of all, you need to apply for it, and once you apply, you get like approved, and they'll send you a blueprint and all the information for like when and where the exam is happening, but they'll send you the NPLEX blueprint, and you probably heard about this blueprint all throughout your first couple of years of school. They just vaguely talk about it. And yeah, basically it's a study guide. And it basically just has a list of all of the things they expect you to know for NPLEX I, divided up by system. So if you go through there, it'll have a list of things. It'll just be like, be able to describe the physiology of the kidney. That's very general, but it's pretty general. And then it'll be like, no pathology for all of these conditions or diseases. So that's useful. I didn't realize right away because I didn't really look at the blueprint, because the person I had talked to for advice on NPLEX, she said that she didn't really even look at the blueprint. But then I realized about halfway, maybe a little past halfway of studying for NPLEX, is that when I was studying for like USMLE, or studying using the USMLE book, there's a lot more conditions in there that are actually on the blueprint. And the blueprint, I'm pretty sure you don't really need to know anything outside of what's on the blueprint. Yeah, because it's a pretty concise study guide. It's a lot of material, but it's good direction. So if there's like a condition, I can't even think of one right now, but if there's a condition that you read in the USMLE and you're like, I've never heard about that, we didn't really talk about that, or this wasn't emphasized a lot, or just, yeah, I've never heard of this before at all, you can reference the blueprint and be like, oh, it's not even in the blueprint, let me just erase that from my brain, not even think about that at all. So that's one tip. USMLE book was really good. I definitely used that. Yeah, it was good. So the next resource I used was PassNPLEX. And like I mentioned, I am the student rep for PassNPLEX, so I knew about it. You can check out their website. I believe it's PassNPLEX.com. And on there, they have like a 100% pass rate guarantee. They have courses, so you have a course for NPLEX I, you have courses for NPLEX II, I have course at NPLEX I, and then it has a bunch of like lecture videos going through all of the different systems. So that was helpful. All of the videos are like maybe an hour long. There might be 2 hours depending on the section, like cardiology or something like that. So basically what I did is I would just watch all the lecture videos. I would highlight and color coordinate their PowerPoints. So typically for when I'm in class and I'm doing notes, I like to retype everything, like the whole PowerPoint, so it's in concise form on one sheet and I can see everything and it's like just well organized and I can color code it the way I want to. So normally I do that, but I realized after trying to do the same kind of thing with the NPLEX, the PassNPLEX material, that wasn't gonna work. It was just taking way too long. So what I did is I just downloaded the PowerPoints that they use and I just highlighted on top of the PowerPoints. Sorry, information is coming back to me as I go through this process of explaining everything to you. I would also like to mention that for us, we were basically told to study 5 weeks before the NPLEX exam. So we get 2-week breaks between each quarter at Sonoran University. So we get 2 weeks for each quarter. But after quarter 7, what they recommend is taking 1 week of break and then start studying the second week. So that's basically what I did. I did kind of like loose general studying for the second week of break and then really started studying the last 4 weeks. So other options that you can use to prep for NPLEX include Sketchy Micro. I've heard that's really good, super helpful for memorizing micro. I didn't end up using that. Pathoma I've heard is really helpful as well. That's like gen med material. Deja review, I've heard that's really good. I think it's just a bunch of questions about each section and system and subject. I did some questions from it. It's a ton of stuff, but I thought it was helpful. Then there's Dr. Anderson's reviews. He's a naturopathic doctor. He created these. I think it's like $5 or something, if this is the right one, to get all of them. So they're just like video lecture reviews. Boards and Beyond, I've heard people use. I don't really know much about it. The BRS books you could use because those are geared towards the NPLEX exam kind of, or at least like the board exam, and you can get them. They're helpful for as you're going through like your biochem courses, your phys courses, anatomy. The BRS books are good. Anatomy 100 Concepts is really useful. I'm not exactly sure where that's gotten. I know like our anatomy professor gave us that resource. I'm not sure where to find it exactly, but that's super helpful. HyGuru is on YouTube. He helps MD students and maybe like DOs also prep for their step 1 exam. So his stuff I think it's kind of general, but the way he explained things I thought was really helpful. And sometimes you just get tired of just reading notes and stuff. So I thought his material was really good to just listen to. I think I double sped it up. He also has practice questions as he goes through the material. So it's really helpful. And he has good like test taking tips as well. Then I've also heard of the Noted Anatomist. I think some people used that to study for anatomy when they were in anatomy. I didn't use it, but that's another good one. And then for like example questions, Exam Master is a good one. Board Vitals questions, you can use BRS questions, Wild Brilliance, USMLE Practice tests, and then Board Review Series book practice tests. Oh, that's the BRS. I don't know why I have that on here twice, but those are basically all of the resources that are available.